The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. Have you ever looked around your life and felt a quiet voice whisper, "There's more to this than just surviving"? You might be doing everything right, working hard, being responsible, checking all the boxes. And yet, deep inside, there's a craving. Not just for money, but for freedom. For meaning. For the kind of life where you don't just pay bills and wait for weekends, you live fully. With joy. With purpose. With impact. This isn't just about wealth. It's about unlocking your full potential. Wallace D. Wattles, in his timeless work The Science of Getting Rich, gives us a blueprint, a way of thinking and acting that can break through limitations and set us on the path to not only financial success but personal transformation. In this audiobook, you're not listening to a cold summary. You're joining a personal conversation. One filled with emotion, passion, real-life stories, and a roadmap that speaks directly to your heart. We'll walk through this journey together. You'll feel understood, empowered, and, most importantly, equipped to change your life starting today. Let me ask you a few questions before we begin. When you wake up in the morning, do you feel excited to start your day, or does it feel like just another struggle to survive? Have you ever laid in bed at night, wondering when your breakthrough will come? Or maybe you've stared at your bank balance, heart sinking, wondering if life was meant to be this hard. What if I told you that everything could change, not because of magic, but because of a science, a method, a way of thinking and acting that shifts your reality from the inside out? Wattles didn't just write a book, he offered a spiritual, mental, and practical system for transformation. And in the next chapters, we'll break that system down, one piece at a time, so that you don't just hear the science of getting rich, you live it. So wherever you are, on your commute, in your kitchen, or lying in bed, tune in, because your breakthrough might be just a sentence away. If you have not subscribed now, you might probably not going to see this video again. Subscribe now and drop a like. Let's begin. Chapter 1, The Right to be Rich. Wattles opens with a thunderclap. Whatever may be said in praise of poverty, the fact remains that it is not possible to live a really complete or successful life unless one is rich. It's a bold, almost jarring statement. For many of us, the idea of wealth has been wrapped in guilt, shame, or even spiritual disdain. We were told that it's better to be humble and poor than to seek riches. We've seen wealth portrayed as the root of greed, corruption, and moral decline. But Wattles challenges us to think deeper. He's not glorifying materialism. He's advocating for fullness of life. To live a complete life, he argues, we need money. Money for good food, for safe shelter, for time with loved ones. Money to express our creativity, travel the world, help others, and develop our minds. Without it, we're constantly distracted by survival. With it, we gain the freedom to focus on becoming who we were truly meant to be. Let's bring this into a real-world example. Imagine a single mother working 2 jobs. She barely has time to tuck her kids in at night, let alone invest in her own growth or passions. She wants to be present, to write the book in her heart, or to start that small business she dreams of. But without the financial resources, she's trapped in a cycle of exhaustion. According to Wattles, she has the right to break that cycle, not just for survival, but for her expansion as a human being. Wattles isn't suggesting that being poor makes you less worthy. He's saying that poverty limits your ability to express your true self. And he's inviting us to step into a mindset that sees wealth not as greed, but as growth. Let's flip the script. What if being rich wasn't about owning 5 cars or flaunting luxury? What if it was about having enough time, enough peace, enough freedom to say yes to your dreams? To contribute to your community? To raise emotionally healthy kids? To rest when your body needs it? Ask yourself, what could I do if I had the financial freedom I desire? Write down 10 things. Don't hold back. Let your imagination roam. That list is not a fantasy, it's your vision, and you have a right to pursue it. I remember talking to a friend who grew up in a low-income household. For years, she believed wanting money made her shallow. But after reading Wattles, she cried. She realized that she wanted wealth not for herself alone, but to lift her family, support causes she loved, and create a life of dignity. Wattles gave her permission to desire. Affirmation. I have the right to be rich. Not because I am better, but because I am growing. Finally, riches aren't a reward, they're a reflection of alignment. Alignment with creativity, contribution, and the law of more life. You don't need to apologize for wanting more. You were born to expand. You have the right to be rich. Chapter 2: There is a science of getting rich. Imagine trying to bake a cake without a recipe. You throw in a bit of flour, some sugar, maybe an egg or two, hoping it all works out. Sometimes it might, but often, it doesn't. Now compare that with following a tested, perfected recipe. You follow each step, measure each ingredient, and you know the cake will rise. That's exactly how Wattles presents the concept of getting rich. There's a science to it. A formula. A method. And just like physics or chemistry, if you do the right things in the right way, you will get predictable results. This chapter might be one of the most liberating in the entire book. Why? Because it removes luck from the equation. It tells you that wealth isn't just for the lucky few, the privileged, or those born with connections. Wealth is available to anyone who learns and applies the laws that govern its creation. Think of people you've seen rise from nothing: immigrants who started with nothing but a suitcase and a dream, single moms who built businesses from their kitchens, individuals who had no college education yet became millionaires. They followed principles. They didn't stumble into wealth, they created it. Wattles emphasizes that this science is universal. It works the same for everyone, regardless of background, race, gender, or circumstance. The key lies in learning and applying the laws that govern the flow of wealth. The core belief. There is a thinking substance from which all things are made. When you impress your thoughts upon this substance in a certain way, you cause the thing you think about to be created. Sounds metaphysical? Perhaps. But pause for a moment and think about it. Every invention, every business, every product started as a thought. The plane, the smartphone, the internet, all of them were once invisible ideas before they became tangible realities. Real-life example. Consider someone like Elon Musk. Whether you love him or not, one thing is certain: he visualizes massive ideas and then impresses them into reality. Electric cars. Space travel. Neural technology. All of it begins with thought, followed by action in a very specific way. You might not be aiming to colonize Mars, but the principle is the same. Your desires are blueprints. And when combined with belief and right action, they become your reality. Daily tip. Each morning, take 5 minutes to sit quietly and visualize your financial goals. Picture the amount you want to earn. Picture what you'll do with it. Hold the vision clearly, and believe it is coming. This is not daydreaming, it's scientific visualization. Are you treating wealth like a random event, or are you ready to approach it like a science? The moment you accept that there is a reliable process for becoming rich, everything changes. You stop asking if and start asking how. And that shift, from doubt to curiosity, is the first step toward transformation. Affirmation. I follow a proven path. I trust the process. Wealth is not a mystery, it's a method. Closing thought. The science of getting rich is not magic. It's not luck. It's a process, available to everyone. Including you. Especially you. Chapter 3: Is opportunity monopolized? Let's be honest, most of us, at one time or another, have believed that the game of wealth is rigged. That the rich get richer, and the rest of us are left to fight over the scraps. That success is reserved for those with elite connections, Ivy League degrees, or family inheritances. Wallace D. Wattles, however, cuts straight through that belief with one simple truth: opportunity is not monopolized. Wattles insists that the world is not closed to anyone. In fact, he argues that the universe is rich with opportunity and overflowing with abundance. But here's the twist: it doesn't always come through the doors we expect. It doesn't always arrive with fanfare. It often begins with a mindset shift. To understand this better, think of the internet. Just a few decades ago, it didn't even exist as a commercial tool. Today, it's created millionaires from college dorms, from small towns, from single mothers, from war refugees. Think of people like Sarah Blakely, the founder of Spanx, who turned $5,000 into a billion-dollar brand with no business background. Or consider the countless creators, coaches, and writers earning a living through platforms that didn't even exist 15 years ago. None of these people were given a special key. They simply saw and seized opportunity. Not because it was handed to them, but because they were tuned into the idea that opportunity exists everywhere. Wattles challenges us to let go of the belief that someone else's success diminishes our chances. He reminds us, this isn't a zero-sum game. One person's riches don't subtract from yours. In fact, wealth expands. Like a candle lighting another candle, the flame doesn't diminish. It multiplies. Practical insight. If you believe that success is limited, your mind will filter out possibilities. But if you open yourself to the idea that there's more than enough to go around, your eyes and your life begin to change. You start noticing the gaps you can fill, the needs you can solve, and the ways you can grow. Daily exercise. Ask yourself, where is there a need that I can serve today? Even something small, a neighbor who needs help, a friend who needs advice, a workplace issue you can solve. Each action is a seed of wealth. I once met a janitor at a tech company who paid attention to the complaints people made in the cafeteria line. He wrote them down. A year later, he'd launched a software tool to solve one of those issues and was invited into a startup team. Not luck, awareness. Not privilege, belief that opportunity was open to him. I'm telling you now, don't disqualify yourself. You don't need to have it all figured out. You don't need to be famous. You just need to believe that the doors of opportunity are open, and then start knocking daily. Affirmation. Opportunity is abundant. I live in a world overflowing with chances to grow, give, and gain. Closing insight. The only monopoly is in the mind. When you realize that you're surrounded by invisible possibilities, wealth stops being a distant dream, it becomes a present choice. Your belief opens the door. Your action walks through it. Chapter 4, The First Principle in the Science of Getting Rich. Let's pause here and get to the heart of it, the first principle in the science of getting rich. Wallace D. Wattles says it simply but powerfully, thought is the only power which can produce tangible riches from the formless substance. In other words, everything begins with your thoughts. Not just vague wishes or occasional daydreams, but clear, focused, sustained thought. This is where your wealth journey begins, not in your bank account, not in your job title, but in your mind. So why does this matter so much? Because most people spend their lives reacting. Reacting to bills, to news, to circumstances. They let the outer world shape their inner world. But Wattles flips that. He says, shape your inner world first, because your thoughts are creative forces. Here's the big takeaway: to become rich, you must form a clear and definite picture of what you want. Not I want more money, but how much? For what purpose? What will your life look like once that wealth arrives? You need to build the image in your mind so clearly that it becomes more than a hope, it becomes a blueprint. Practical exercise. Right now, close your eyes for 1 minute. Picture your ideal life in vivid detail. Where do you live? What do you see when you wake up? How do you spend your days? Who are you helping? How do you feel? This is the starting point. But Wattles adds something critical: you must hold this vision with unwavering faith. It's not enough to imagine once and forget. You must carry that image through your daily life, like a compass. Even when things look the opposite, you stay faithful to the vision. Think about a gardener planting seeds. On day 1, the ground looks exactly the same. On day 5, still no sign of growth. But the gardener doesn't panic, because she knows the process is working underground. Your thoughts are seeds. Your faith is water. Your action is sunlight. Stay with it. Let me give you an example. I once interviewed a man who'd grown up in poverty, living in a one-bedroom apartment with 5 siblings. He told me that as a teenager, he started spending 10 minutes every morning visualizing the life he wanted, a home with space, a career he loved, and the ability to give back. He did this for years, even when working 2 jobs just to survive. Today, he owns multiple businesses, runs a nonprofit, and lives the exact life he once pictured. He didn't just hope, he practiced the first principle. Daily reminder. Every day, return to your mental image. Refresh it. Strengthen it. And don't just wish, believe. Feel it as real. Let that vision energize your decisions, your attitude, your actions. Even if your current reality feels miles away from the life you want, remember, all transformation begins with imagination. Not fantasy, but focused, faithful thought. That is the first principle. Affirmation. My vision is clear. My faith is strong. My thoughts are building my future. Closing insight. The universe doesn't respond to vague intentions. It responds to clear vision, held with belief and backed by action. This is not wishful thinking, it's powerful thinking. And it's the first step in the science of getting rich. Chapter 5, Increasing Life, the Law That Governs All. At the core of everything, your dreams, your desires, even your hunger for wealth, there's one great, universal impulse, the desire for more life. Wallace D. Wattles explains that this is not selfish. It's sacred. Every living thing wants to grow, expand, and experience more. A tree stretches toward the sun. A child longs to learn. You want more not because you're greedy, but because life itself is pressing through you, asking to be more fully expressed. Let that sink in, your desire for more is not a flaw, it's divine. According to Wattles, the universe is built on the law of increase. This means that everything in nature moves toward expansion. More love. More expression. More richness in every form. And when you align with that law, when you commit to increasing life for yourself and for others, you tap into the most powerful current in existence. Think of it like this: money, opportunities, relationships, they flow where life is being expanded. If you are contributing to the increase of life in others, you are magnetizing wealth without even chasing it. It's not about manipulation or cleverness. It's about becoming someone who adds value, who makes people feel more alive, more hopeful, more empowered. Practical insight. Wattles says that to become rich, you must give every person more in use value than you take in cash value. In other words, if someone pays you $50 for your service, they should walk away feeling like they got $500 worth of transformation. This principle is simple but revolutionary. It's how trust is built. It's how reputations grow. It's how businesses thrive. When you focus on giving more life, you create a gravitational pull around you. Think of someone like Oprah Winfrey. She didn't just build a brand, she built a movement around increasing the lives of others. Whether it's through stories, interviews, or schools in Africa, her presence screams, more life. And that energy attracted billions. You don't need to be a celebrity. Maybe you're a teacher, a coach, an artist, a barista. No matter what you do, the question remains, am I giving more life to those I serve? If you are, then wealth isn't far behind, it's inevitable. Daily challenge. Today, find one way to increase life in someone else. Encourage a coworker. Surprise a client. Smile at a stranger with real warmth. Give your full presence to a conversation. These aren't just nice acts, they're magnetic acts. They align you with the law of increase. I once knew a small-town baker who always added a little extra cookie in every box. Just a tiny act. But people loved him for it. His business exploded, not because of marketing, but because people felt richer for knowing him. He embodied the law of increase. You can too. Affirmation. I give more in use than I take in cash. I am a force of increase. I attract abundance by expanding life wherever I go. Closing insight. Wealth is not just about what you get. It's about what you give and how you give it. The universe moves toward increase. When you do the same, you're not forcing success, you're flowing with it. Become someone who multiplies life, and you will never lack again. Chapter 6: How Riches Come to You. Picture this: you're walking along a quiet path, and suddenly, it starts raining, gently, steadily. You don't run. You stand still, arms wide, and you let it wash over you. That's what receiving wealth can be like, not a desperate chase, but a divine flow. In Chapter 6, Wallace D. Wattles brings us face to face with a profound truth: riches come to you, not by chance or by force, but through natural law. You don't have to beg for money. You don't have to manipulate or deceive. When you align with the right thinking and take right action, wealth comes to you as predictably as gravity pulls a stone to the earth. It's not about hustling harder, it's about becoming a magnet for abundance. Let's break this down. Wealth comes through creative, not competitive action. Wattles makes a powerful distinction in this chapter. Wealth is not acquired through competition, but through creation. Let that sink in. Most of us are trained to think that life is a race, a constant battle to get ahead. We fear that someone else's win is our loss. We grind and hustle and burn ourselves out trying to outshine others. But Wattles flips the script: you are not here to beat anyone. You are here to create something new. In the creative mindset, there is no scarcity. There is always more to be made, more to be done, more value to be given. You stop focusing on taking from the pie, and you start baking a bigger pie. The role of gratitude. One of the deepest messages in this chapter is about the magnetic power of gratitude. Wattles says that gratitude keeps you connected to the source of supply. It tunes your mind to receive more. It sharpens your vision and lifts your energy. Think of gratitude as your signal strength to the universe. When you feel grateful, you're saying, I trust that more is on the way. And that belief clears the path for more blessings to flow. This isn't about fake positivity. It's about anchoring yourself in truth. Even when life is hard, even when the money isn't there yet, you look around and say, I am thankful for what I have and excited for what's coming. How do riches actually come? Wattles is clear: wealth doesn't fall from the sky or arrive like a lottery ticket. Instead, riches come as a direct response to the value you provide. And they come through the channels available to you. This is huge. Many people sit waiting for their big break, thinking it has to look a certain way: a glamorous job, a random windfall, a perfect investor. But Wattles says, look where you are. Start there. Riches will flow through your current environment, your current relationships, your current opportunities, as long as you begin to work in a certain way. It's like water finding the easiest path downhill. It doesn't need a perfect road, it just needs an open one. You must get rid of the thought of competition. You are to create, not compete for what is already created. Wallace D. Wattles. Let's say you're a freelance designer. Instead of worrying about how many other designers are out there, Wattles would say, focus on creating better work, giving more value, and expressing your unique style. If you do this while holding a clear mental image of what you want, staying full of gratitude, and taking consistent action, you'll find yourself attracting clients, collaborations, and income in ways you never predicted. And the key? You didn't chase the money. You created value and became the kind of person money flows toward. Daily practice. Hold your vision. Stay emotionally connected to your goal. Act where you are. Do the best possible work you can with what you have today. Stay grateful. Every night, write down 5 things you're thankful for, even the small ones. Avoid competitive energy. Don't compare or resent. Focus on creation. Personal story. I once knew a woman who wanted to open a wellness studio. She didn't have the funding or the location. But instead of waiting, she started offering free sessions from her living room. Word spread. Within a year, a friend offered her a shared space. Eventually, a grant came through. Now she owns a thriving business. It didn't happen overnight. But she stayed grateful. She created instead of competed. And the universe opened doors. Spiritual principle. There is a loving intelligence in the universe. It wants you to succeed. It wants life to grow. When you cooperate with that intelligence through right thought, right action, and right gratitude, it conspires on your behalf. This isn't blind faith, it's spiritual physics. Affirmation. I am a creator, not a competitor. Riches flow to me through channels known and unknown. I give thanks for all I have and all that's coming. Closing insight. You don't need to fight your way to wealth. You need to align your thoughts, your energy, and your actions with the laws that govern increase. You need to create, to give, to grow. And when you do, you won't have to chase riches. They will come to you. Chapter 7, Gratitude. Take a moment. Breathe deeply. Now, think of anything that makes your heart feel a little lighter. Maybe it's a kind word someone said to you. A moment of silence in a noisy day. The smell of coffee. A child's laughter. The way sunlight spills across the floor. That feeling? That warm, gentle hum in your chest? That's gratitude. And according to Wallace D. Wattles, it is one of the most powerful forces in the universe. In Chapter 7, Wattles tells us that gratitude is the golden thread that connects us to everything we desire. It's not just a nice attitude. It's not just polite. It's magnetic. It's energetic. It's a tool for transformation. Let's explore how. Gratitude, the bridge between you and the infinite. Wattles writes, the grateful mind is constantly fixed upon the best, therefore it tends to become the best. When you dwell in gratitude, you do more than feel good. You tune yourself to the frequency of abundance. You're not just wishing for things to get better. You're acknowledging that something good is already happening, even if it's small. You're saying to the universe, I see what you're doing. I recognize it. And I welcome more. Gratitude is the signal you send out that tells the universe you are ready, receptive, and aligned. Why gratitude is so powerful? Let's be real, we live in a world that's constantly pushing us to want more, do more, be more. And yet, Wattles says this, you can't receive more until you fully appreciate what you already have. This isn't spiritual fluff, it's energetic law. When you're in a state of lack, when you focus on what you don't have, you're broadcasting resistance. You're focusing on separation, not connection. But when you're in a state of gratitude, your mind becomes a fertile field. New ideas take root. Inspiration flows. People show up. Opportunities open. Why? Because gratitude brings you into harmony with the creative intelligence of the universe. You stop swimming against the current. You start flowing with life itself. Gratitude keeps you focused on the vision. Wattles emphasizes this, when you're grateful, you hold your vision more clearly. Let's say you've created a detailed mental image of the life you want. You're working toward it. But obstacles come up. Doubts creep in. The path gets foggy. What keeps you from turning back? Gratitude. Gratitude keeps your heart soft and your eyes steady. It reminds you that the power that brought you this far hasn't abandoned you.
That even in difficulty, you're being shaped, prepared, positioned. You begin to trust the timing. You begin to see the gifts inside the grind. And that trust, that emotional steadiness, is what allows your vision to crystallize and become reality. Daily practice, gratitude as a spiritual ritual. Wattles urges us to cultivate a habit of gratitude. Not just a passing feeling. Here's a simple, powerful way to start. Morning grounding. As soon as you wake up, name 3 things you're thankful for. Don't just think them, feel them. Let them warm you from the inside. Evening reflection. Before bed, write down 5 things that went well today. They can be big or small. What mattered is your attention. Midday reset. When stress hits, pause. Find one thing you can be grateful for in that moment. It's a lifeline back to your center. You'll begin to notice something. The more you express gratitude, the more reasons you have to be grateful. That's not magic. That's alignment. Real life example. I once met a man who worked a job he hated. Every day, he complained. Every day, he felt stuck. Then, he started a simple gratitude practice. Every lunch break, he would walk outside and thank the universe for anything he could see: a patch of blue sky, the ability to walk, the people he loved. Over time, his energy changed. So did his attitude. And within months, so did his life. He got promoted not because the job changed, but because he did. Gratitude raised his vibration, and that shift opened new doors. Gratitude prevents you from slipping into doubt. Wattles issues a warning in this chapter: the moment you stop being grateful, you start to slide back into fear. You begin to worry. You question the process. You lose sight of your vision. But when you return to gratitude, you realign. It's your emotional compass. It reminds you that you are not alone in this. That something bigger is at work. Even when the money isn't in your account yet. Even when the deal hasn't closed. Even when nothing seems to be happening. Gratitude is the proof that something already has. Affirmation. I am deeply grateful for all I have and all that's coming. I trust the process. I honor the source. And I open my heart to receive. Closing insight. Gratitude is not just a step on the path to wealth, it is the path. It's the energy that keeps you aligned. It's the lens that keeps your vision clear. It's the emotion that draws more good into your life, day after day. And the beautiful thing? You don't need anything external to begin. You can start now. Right where you are. With what you have. With who you are. Let every breath be a thank you. Let every step be a prayer. And watch as the universe rises to meet you. Chapter 8, Thinking in the Certain Way. Let's slow down for a second. This chapter? It's the engine room of everything that's come before. Wallace D. Wattles calls it thinking in the certain way. And it's not just positive thinking. It's not about hoping or wishing or trying to force the universe to bend to your will. It's about stepping into absolute alignment with the energy that creates worlds. It's about thinking in such a precise, unwavering, faith-filled way that your thoughts become real things, drawn into your life by the power of focus and belief. The certain way equals unshakable clarity. So what is the certain way? Wattles puts it plainly. You must form a clear and definite mental picture of what you want, and you must hold this picture in your thoughts, with the fixed purpose to get what you want, and the unwavering faith that you do get what you want. Let's break that down. Clarity, you must know exactly what you want. Focus, you must hold it steady in your mind, not just once, but constantly. Purpose, you must intend to act on it. This isn't daydreaming, it's committed creation. Faith, you must believe deeply that what you want is already on its way. This is what separates casual thinkers from conscious creators. This is what draws the invisible into the visible. Why most people don't do this? It sounds simple, right? But very few people actually live this way. Why? Because most of us have been trained to think in reaction to the world around us. We look at our bank accounts, our relationships, our circumstances, and we respond. If things look good, we feel hopeful. If things look hard, we feel discouraged. But Wattles says, that's backward. In the certain way, we lead with vision, not reaction. You don't let your current reality define your thinking. You let your thinking reshape your reality. And that's a whole new level of personal power. Impressing your thoughts upon formless substance. This next part is where it gets metaphysical. Wattles teaches that there's a thinking, intelligent formless substance, a kind of spiritual intelligence, a creative force that responds to the thoughts you hold with conviction and clarity. By holding the image of what you want in your mind, with faith and purpose, you impress that image onto formless substance, which begins to move to bring it into visible form. Imagine your thoughts are like seeds. Your mind is the planter. And the universe? It's the soil, ready, waiting, responsive. What you plant will grow. But only if you water it daily with faith and protect it from the weeds of doubt. The danger of contradictory thinking. One of the most important teachings in this chapter is this. Do not spend any time in thinking about possible failure. If you think about your dream for 10 minutes, then spend the rest of the day worrying, doubting, stressing, complaining. You're canceling out your order. It's like planting a seed and digging it up every afternoon to check on it. Nothing will grow that way. Wattles urges us to think in the certain way consistently, because inconsistency leads to mixed results. And mixed results lead to confusion, resentment, and giving up. But when you hold your thought, your vision, firmly, faithfully, and with emotion, you create. Period. Think rich, speak rich, act rich. Wattles is clear, you must not just think in the certain way, but also speak and act from that place of certainty. That means you speak as if your good is already on its way. You carry yourself as if success is already unfolding. You walk into every room, every challenge, every conversation knowing, I am aligned with the source of all creation. And people will feel that. Opportunities will respond to that. Doors will open not by force, but by frequency. Faith isn't blind, it's bold. Let's talk about faith. Faith isn't wishful thinking. Faith is emotional alignment with what hasn't yet shown up. It's the same kind of inner knowing a mother has when she says, I just know my child is okay. It's the deep certainty that even if things don't look good right now, they're becoming good. Why? Because you said so. Because your mind is made up. Because the law is always working even when you can't see it. Faith is the bridge between the invisible and the visible. And thinking in the certain way means you walk that bridge daily, faithfully, powerfully. Practical practice, thinking in the certain way. Here's how you can begin practicing this kind of thinking. Create your vision. Write down your desire in clear, vivid detail. Not vague wishes, specific outcomes. Visualize daily. Spend 5 to 10 minutes each morning imagining your life as if it's already done. Feel it. See it. Embody it. Affirm with purpose. Use strong, grounded statements like, it is happening. I am aligned. I receive it now. Monitor your inner dialogue. Whenever you catch yourself doubting or worrying, gently stop. Replace it with a truth. This is working. Everything is unfolding perfectly for me. Live like it's already here. Walk, talk, breathe like the version of you who knows it's on the way. Closing reflection. Here's the truth. You are not powerless.
You are not at the mercy of luck or randomness or other people's decisions.
You are a creator. A transmitter.
A powerful thinker with the ability to shape reality through clarity, purpose, and faith.
The certain way isn't about perfection, it's about consistency.
It's about showing up for your dream every day, with heart, with belief, and with a mind made up.
Because once your mind is made up, the world begins to move. Affirmation. I think with clarity. I act with purpose. I believe with unwavering faith. And what I desire, I receive, because I live and think in the certain way. Chapter 9: How to Use the Will. Let's take a deep breath together. Because this one will set you free. It's called How to Use the Will. And not in the way the world has taught you.
You see, when most people think of willpower, they imagine struggle.
Forcing things. Pushing hard. Clenching their fists and grinding it out. But Wattles offers something radically different. He teaches that the true power of your will is not to control the world around you, but to control the one thing you truly can. Your own thoughts. The only proper use of will. Wattles puts it like this. The will is not used to compel other people to do what you wish. It is used to compel yourself to think and act in a certain way. Did you catch that? Your will is not for controlling outcomes. It's not for manipulating people or circumstances. It's not even for making money come faster. It's for mastering your inner world. So that you think and stay aligned with your vision, no matter what happens on the outside. That is real power. Let go of external control. Here's a truth that might surprise you. You don't need to make anyone do anything. Not your boss. Not your clients. Not your family. Not the economy. Wattles says, you do not need to compel the universe to give you good things, any more than you need to compel the sun to rise. That's a powerful reframe. The universe is already set up to deliver what you desire. There's no need to wrestle it into submission. You just need to stay in harmony with it. How? By using your will to direct your own thoughts, to hold your vision steady. To keep thinking and acting in the certain way, even when the outside world looks unchanged. The inner battle. Let's be honest. Your biggest challenge. It's not the world. It's your own habitual thinking. The fear that creeps in at night. The doubt that whispers, what if it doesn't work? The urge to look around and react instead of looking within and create. This is where the will comes in. Your will is like a laser. It cuts through distraction. It focuses your energy. It keeps you from being tossed around by emotions, opinions, or appearances. You must use your will to keep your mind working in the right way. That's it. That's everything. Don't will against, will toward. One of the most liberating insights from this chapter is this. Stop trying to use your will against things. Don't fight poverty. Don't resist illness. Don't struggle against what you don't want. Because when you give energy to those things, even with the intention to defeat them, you're still focused on them. And what you focus on, grows. Instead, use your will to hold your attention toward what you do want. Abundance. Health. Joy. Creative expression. Impact. Use your will to fix your mind on the good you desire until it becomes more real than anything around you. When the outer world doesn't match the inner vision. Let's be real, sometimes the outside world won't reflect your vision yet. You'll still see bills. You'll still hear naysayers. You might still feel scared or uncertain. And that's okay. Because your job is not to change the world directly. Your job is to hold the vision so clearly, so powerfully, that the world has no choice but to rearrange around it. This is the sacred use of will.
To keep your mind working in a certain way, so you will always be creating what you want. That's mastery. Will and faith work together. Let's talk about the relationship between will and faith. Faith says, "It is coming. It is already mine." Will says, "And I will not look away until it arrives." Will keeps you from drifting into fear. Will keeps you from sabotaging your vision with doubt. Will keeps you anchored in the energy of certainty. Faith lifts you up. Will holds you steady. And together, they create worlds. Real life practice. Using the will. How do you use the will in daily life? Try this. Start your day with a clear image of what you want. Speak it out loud. Feel it. Anchor it in your heart. Throughout the day, watch your focus. Whenever your mind drifts into worry or reaction, gently, but firmly, bring it back. Speak with conviction. Use affirmations like, "I choose to focus on abundance. My reality is unfolding in perfect timing. I hold to my vision, no matter what. Refuse to be distracted by appearances." If things don't look like they're working, remind yourself, "I do not live by sight. I live by vision." End your day with gratitude and reinforcement. Revisit your vision. Thank the universe for its perfect orchestration. Sleep in certainty. Closing reflection. This chapter is a quiet revolution. It's the end of trying to control everything outside of you, and the beginning of total mastery over the one thing that matters most: your own attention. You don't need to hustle. You don't need to force. You just need to choose every moment to direct your mind with love, with power, and with vision. That is the art of using the will. Affirmation. I do not struggle. I do not force. I direct my thoughts with power and peace. My will holds me in alignment with my vision. And what I desire flows to me now. Chapter 10: Further Use of the Will. Now that you know how to use your will to hold your vision steady, let's go even deeper. Because this chapter is where will becomes powerful, pure, and peaceful. It's titled Further Use of the Will. But it's really about surrender. Not giving up, but giving over. Giving your vision to the invisible forces of the universe and trusting. Stop trying to control the how. Let's be clear. You are not here to figure out how your dream will come true. You are here to know that it will. Your will is not meant to scheme, hustle, or micromanage the process. It's meant to keep your heart and mind rooted in belief even when the path is unclear. Wattles writes, "Do not apply your will to things outside of you, you have no right to do so." In other words, don't try to bend people to your agenda. Don't obsess over specific circumstances unfolding in a certain way. Don't fight against what is. Because the more you try to control outcomes, the more you block the flow. Your only job, stay in the certain way. What's the certain way? It's thinking, feeling, and acting as though what you want is already yours. It's living as if abundance is a given. Not a distant hope, but a current reality. And here's the paradox. The less you push, the more you align. The less you try to make it happen, the more you allow it to happen. That's why Wattles says, "Do not spend time in trying to change others, keep your mind at home, it can accomplish more there than elsewhere." When doubt creeps in, you will be tempted to worry, to meddle, to ask, "But what if it doesn't work?" This is where the further use of will comes in. You gently but firmly turn your mind away from appearances. You refuse to dwell in fear. You say to your thoughts, "No. We are not going there." And you return again and again to the vision, to the feeling of certainty, to the energy of already done. This is not denial. It's discipline. Spiritual, mental, emotional discipline. And it's the key to creating in harmony with the universe. Let the universe handle the details. One of the most liberating truths Wattles gives us is this: there is a thinking stuff from which all things are made, and a thought held in it produces the thing that is imaged by the thought. You are not the source. You are the channel. You don't need to know how the universe will deliver. You only need to hold the thought clearly and act in faith. Let the formless intelligence figure out the how. Your only job is the what and the why. What you desire. Why it matters to you. And the spiritual discipline to stay focused on it. Trust in the tide. Imagine this. You're at the edge of the ocean. The tide is out. You know it always comes back in. You don't panic. You don't scream at the water. You just trust the rhythm. This is how you must treat your dreams. If they haven't shown up yet, don't worry. The tide is turning. The flow is in motion. The universe is rearranging itself to meet you. Hold the vision. Stay faithful. And act one step at a time in the certain way. Avoid competing thought. This part is subtle but crucial. Every time you worry, you compete with the infinite. You say, maybe there's not enough. Maybe I have to hurry. Maybe someone else will beat me to it. But the truth is, there's no competition in creation. Your good is yours. The more calmly and confidently you hold to your truth, the more powerfully it is drawn into your life. Real-life practice, the advanced use of will. Here's how to integrate this into your life today. Start your morning by connecting with your vision. Don't just see it, feel it. Step into it like it's already true. Throughout the day, monitor your thoughts. When fear arises, don't resist it, redirect it. Say, I choose trust. Stop trying to force specific people or outcomes. Say, this, or something better. Let life surprise you. Take inspired action. Do what you can, with what you have, where you are. But do it from a place of joy, not desperation. Let go at night. Before bed, release all attachment. Say, I've done my part. Now I let go and allow. Closing reflection. The further use of the will is really the refinement of the will. It's the moment where force becomes faith, where effort becomes flow, where doing becomes being. You don't have to chase. You don't have to force. You just have to choose your thought. Again and again. Until it becomes your world. Affirmation. I do not struggle. I do not fear. I trust the process that is always unfolding. I hold my vision in love. And I release control to the power that makes worlds. Chapter 11, Acting in the Certain Way. Let's be real for a second. No amount of dreaming, visualizing, or affirming will bring you wealth if you don't act. This chapter is where thought meets movement, where vision becomes embodiment, where faith gets legs. Because here's the truth. You must act. But not just any kind of action. You must act in the certain way. What is the certain way? It's not about overworking, overplanning, or overthinking. It's about aligned action. Action that flows from trust, not tension. The certain way is calm, clear, focused, and inspired. It's doing what needs to be done today. With your full heart, your full attention, and no fear about tomorrow. Do every act as best you can. Wattles says. Do every act in the most efficient manner you can. This doesn't mean you need to be perfect. It means you give yourself fully to the moment. If you're making a call, make it with energy. If you're sending an email, send it with intention. If you're waiting tables, selling shoes, teaching kids, or designing software, do it with purpose. Because when you do every small act with big faith, you build a bridge to your vision. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Some people wait for the perfect job, the perfect timing.
The perfect sign. But Wattles reminds us. You cannot act where you are not, you cannot act where you have been, you cannot act where you are going to be. You can only act here. You can only act now. So stop stalling. Stop rehearsing. Stop needing to feel ready. Just begin where you are, with what you've got. Action transforms thought into form. Your thoughts are seeds. Your actions are the soil, the water, the sun. Without action, nothing grows. Without action, your dream stays in the clouds. But when you act, especially in faith, you send a signal to the universe. I'm serious. I'm ready. Let's go. And that's when the magic happens. That's when unseen doors begin to open. That's when people, resources, and opportunities show up, sometimes overnight. You already have enough. Another gem from this chapter. You are not to wait for a change of environment, you can get rich where you are. So many of us think we need more before we begin. More money. More knowledge. More followers. More time. But the truth is, you already have what you need to take the next step. And when you take that step, life meets you there with the next piece. And then the next. And the next. You build the staircase by walking it. Don't try to do tomorrow's work today. A common trap. Trying to control the entire future from where you stand. But Wattles says, do not try to do tomorrow's work today, nor do today's work in a haphazard way. So breathe. You don't need to see the whole map. You only need to take today's step. And take it with grace. The energy you bring matters. It's not just what you do, it's how you do it. Do you show up to your work with dread, or with love? Do you serve others with obligation, or with joy? Do you speak from fear, or from vision? The certain way is about bringing high-quality energy to every task. Why? Because that energy multiplies. It ripples. It echoes. It returns. Real-life practice, action in the certain way. Here's how you can apply this chapter today. Begin each day with a clear mental picture of your goal. Let it guide your energy. Ask yourself, what can I do today that moves me closer to that vision? Don't worry if it's small. Just do it fully. Focus on the quality of every action. If you're writing, speak truth. If you're selling, serve well. If you're creating, create with heart. Do not wait for clarity on steps 4, 5, or 6. Just take step 1. Then step 2. That's how the path is revealed. Trust that action in the certain way always bears fruit. Even if you can't see it yet. Closing reflection. This chapter is a call to stop sitting on the sidelines. To stop waiting. To stop hesitating. And to start. Start where you are. Start with what you have. Start in faith. Because when you act in the certain way, the universe acts with you. Affirmation. I act with purpose. I trust in the process. I give myself fully to this moment. And I know without doubt that every step I take brings me closer to the life I desire. Chapter 12, Efficient Action. Let's talk about one of the biggest myths out there. That success is all about doing more. Hustle harder. Sleep less. Grind till you break. But this chapter whispers something different. It's not the number of things you do. It's how well you do them. Let that sink in. It's not about busy work. The world will praise you for being busy. But busy is not the same as productive. Busy is not the same as efficient. And it's Chapter 13, Getting into the Right Business. Some people hear the word business and feel a shiver. They think, I'm not cut out for that. But listen. Business isn't always a company. It's your contribution. It's where your soul meets the world. It's how you serve, and how you grow rich in return. This chapter isn't about chasing what's trendy. It's about choosing what's true. What's right for you. Wattles makes this clear. You do not need to change your business, your job, your craft, or your calling unless it's keeping you from the certain way. You can get rich from anywhere. If you bring your full self. If you move with purpose. If you follow the laws of thought and action. So the right business isn't always about what you do. It's about how you do it. 3 truths about the right work. You can succeed in any business. As long as it's not immoral or destructive. You can find your wealth right where you are. There's no need to start over. But if you have no passion for it, if it drains your spirit or goes against your values, then it may not be right for you. Riches don't come from struggle alone. They come from alignment. From doing work that fits like breath in your lungs. And if you don't know yet what that work is, that's okay. Your part is to listen. To follow your desires, not just surface wants, but the deep call of your unique design. Desire is the compass. Wattles says, you will do best in that business which will use your strongest faculties. In other words, look at your natural gifts. What comes alive in you? What do people say you're good at, even when you don't try? Maybe it's solving problems. Maybe it's making people laugh. Maybe it's creating systems, or telling stories, or healing pain. Whatever it is, follow that thread. Your gifts are not random. They are clues. Don't wait for a perfect setup. You don't need the right credentials. Or a perfect plan. Or someone to give you permission. You don't even need to quit your job today. All you need is this. Start where you are. Do what you can. And build the rest as you go. You can grow into your right business. Step by step. With faith. With action. With alignment. How to tell if you're in the wrong place. Wattles offers a gentle truth. If you're trying to succeed in a business where you lack talent or natural power, it will be harder. That doesn't mean you can't do it. It means it'll take longer, feel heavier, and likely not satisfy your spirit in the end. So ask yourself, does this work energize me or exhaust me? Am I hiding my real gifts to fit in? Do I believe I have to suffer to succeed? If the answers are painful, it may be time to shift. Not out of fear, but out of truth. A new definition of business. Business is not just about profit. It's about value. Your business is the channel through which the formless substance brings riches to you. That means you create value for others. You circulate energy. And through that circulation, abundance flows back to you. Your business is a sacred exchange. So choose one that feels sacred. Even if no one else sees it that way yet. What if you're still unsure? If you don't know what your right business is yet, here's your task. Keep working where you are. But begin tuning in. What would I do for free if money were guaranteed? What makes time disappear for me? What needs in the world am I drawn to help with? Don't rush it. But don't ignore the nudges either. And remember, you can be in the wrong place today and still get on the right path tomorrow. If you keep walking with awareness. Closing reflection. The right business isn't something you chase. It's something you choose. And then commit to. With focus. With love. And with the certain way. You don't need to be the smartest. the fastest, or the flashiest. You just need to be you. In the right place, doing the right work, the right way. Affirmation. I am guided to the work that is mine to do. My gifts make room for me. I serve with purpose and passion. And through my business, abundance flows. Chapter 14, The Impression of Increase. There's a truth that echoes louder than gold. People don't remember what you did. They remember how you made them feel. This chapter. This is the soul of it all. Because if you want to get rich, truly, abundantly, and lastingly rich, then you must learn to do one thing. Leave every person you meet with the impression of increase. Not just transactions. Not just business. But increase. Expansion. Elevation. You must become someone who raises life. Who adds energy, not drains it. Who leaves people better, fuller, brighter than before. What does impression of increase mean? Wattles says, the desire for increase is inherent in all nature. It is the fundamental impulse of the universe. Think about that. Trees grow toward the sky. Rivers carve paths to the sea. Babies become children, become creators. Everything in nature is seeking to expand. So are we. So when you give someone even a hint that they are growing, rising, expanding, they feel it. They remember it. They want more of it. And when people associate you with growth, they bring you opportunities. They speak your name in rooms you're not in. They open doors you never knocked on. How to leave the impression of increase. You don't need to be flashy. You don't need to fake anything. You just need to carry a mindset of abundance. And let it spill into your every interaction. Here's how. Speak to the highest self in everyone. Not to their fear. Not to their lack. But to their potential. Offer praise when it's due. Sincere. Specific. Uplifting. Do your work in such a way that it reflects excellence. Like it's growing something, not just completing something. Give more than expected. A little more kindness. A little more care. A little more presence. And above all, believe in others. Even when they don't believe in themselves yet. Especially then. You are the channel. Remember. You are not the source. You are the channel through which increase flows. The power is not in your personality, but in your alignment with the formless substance. That divine intelligence, which seeks always to create more life. If you're connected to it, then every word you speak, every deal you make, every service you offer, will carry a frequency of expansion. People will feel it. Even if they can't name it. They'll sense it, and they'll move toward it. The difference between flattery and increase. Be careful. This isn't about people pleasing. It's not flattery. It's not manipulation. The impression of increase is truthful. It comes from a real desire to see others win. It's rooted in the certain way. With faith in the abundance of life. You're not lifting others to get something. You're lifting others because it's who you are. That's when the wealth starts chasing you. Why this is so powerful. Every human being, no matter how rich or poor, wants to grow. Wants to feel valued. Wants to believe they matter. If you become someone who gives them that, you'll stand out without trying. You'll be trusted. You'll be remembered. And in this quiet, sacred exchange, wealth flows naturally. Because people will say, "Something about you makes me want to be better. Let's work together. You see something in me. I want to support you." When you speak, "I believe" again. That's the impression of increase. You must live it too. You can't fake it.
You must be increasing yourself daily.
You must be reading, reflecting, building, refining. Not out of fear, but from a love of becoming more.
And when your own cup is full and overflowing,
then naturally, you'll give increase to everyone you meet. Because abundance lives in your bones. Closing reflection. Leave people better. Leave rooms brighter. Leave work fuller. Leave your life as a trail of uplifted souls. Because the universe expands through you. When you become a living example of the increase of life. This is how you become rich. Affirmation. I am a vessel of increase.
I bring growth, hope, and value to all I meet.
My presence uplifts. And through me, the universe expands. Chapter 15, The Advancing Man. There's a kind of person.
When they walk into the room, the energy shifts.
Not loud. Not flashy. But advancing. They move like they know where they're going.
Like they're carrying something bigger than themselves.
Like life is unfolding for them. This is the advancing man, or woman.
And in this chapter, Wattles teaches you how to become that.
People are drawn to progress.
Wattles puts it plain. What the world wants is advancement.
Not just products. Not just services.
People are magnetized to those who represent forward motion.
Why?
Because deep down, every soul wants to grow.
When you radiate that. When your presence says, "I'm going somewhere," people notice. They want to follow. They want to invest. They want to be part of what you're building. That's the power of the advancing person. What does it mean to be advancing? It doesn't mean being perfect. It doesn't mean having it all figured out. It means this. You're in motion. You're becoming more. And everyone who touches your life becomes more too. You show up with a clear purpose, a definite plan, a spirit that says, "There is more life available, and I'm claiming it." And not in a pushy, egotistical way, but with quiet confidence rooted in truth. The advancing person is rare, that's why they stand out. Most people live in reaction. They drift. They wait. They doubt themselves. They shrink to fit. But the advancing person moves with intention. They work with certainty. They speak with faith. They give with vision.
You don't need to prove anything, your energy proves it for you.
That's why doors open. How to become the advancing person. Here's Wattles' formula. Translated for right now. Hold the image. Stay connected to your vision. Don't let circumstances blur your picture. See it. Feel it. Be it every day. Work with purpose. Every action you take, big or small, should serve your vision. Don't just stay busy. Stay aligned. Act with faith. Don't wait until you feel ready. Trust that the universe is shaping itself to your intention. And act like it. Treat everyone as valuable. Speak to the greatness in others. Let them feel the increase that lives in you. Leave no interaction neutral, leave it charged with uplift. Be excellent where you are. Wherever you're planted, grow. Master your current space. That's how you create the conditions for elevation.
The magnetic power of growth.
Imagine two people selling the same thing. One is desperate. One is grounded. One is trying to convince.
The other is quietly rising.
Which one do you want to follow? You are not your product. You are not your resume. You are not your Instagram. You are your frequency. Raise it. The advancing person doesn't need to chase. They attract. Because people can feel when you're growing. And they want to grow too. Don't compete. Advance. Competition says, there's only so much. I need to fight for mine. Advancement says, there's always more. I expand the pie. You don't get ahead by tearing others down. You rise by lifting up.
You win by becoming more valuable.
You don't push to the front, you become someone the crowd clears space for. That's the advancing way. Closing reflection. Let your whole life say this. I am becoming more. And if you walk with me, you will too. That's the advancing man. That's the energy that builds empires. That's how you get rich. Not just in dollars,
but in life, in impact, in freedom.
Affirmation. I am in constant forward motion.
I live, move, and act in the spirit of advancement.
I lift every space I enter. I grow, and I help others grow. I am the advancing one. Chapter 16.
Some cautions and concluding observations.
You've come a long way. This isn't just a book about money.
It's a manual for becoming more on every level.
But before you go rushing into the world with your new awareness, Wattles pauses. He says, let's get something straight. Riches come by law, not by luck. You're not gambling here. You're not hustling or hoping. This is a science just like gravity. And when you align with the law aligns with you. No shortcuts. No drama. Just cause and effect. So, stay the course. Don't deviate. Don't get clever. Follow the certain way. Think truth. Act now. Stay in faith. Avoid these two traps. Wattles gives us two warnings. 1. Don't get distracted by theology or philosophy. This isn't the time to debate dogma.
You don't need to solve the mysteries of the universe to get rich.
You just need to align with the truth you already feel. Life wants to expand. And you are life. So you are meant to expand. Don't overthink it. You don't need a PhD in metaphysics. You need clarity, intention, and motion. Let others argue over definitions. You build the life. 2. Don't try to save the world before you save yourself. You're here to uplift others, yes. But your first responsibility is to make yourself whole. You can't pour from an empty cup. Don't get lost in other people's lack. Don't try to rescue people by stepping into their despair. Instead, be the example. You rise. You expand. You show what's possible. That does more for the world than 1,000 sermons. The best way to help the poor is not to be one of them. Let your success be a lighthouse, not a lifeboat. Stay connected to the source. Never forget. It's not your hustle that makes you rich. It's your connection to source. The formless intelligence. The infinite supply. The creative power behind all things. Keep that connection strong through gratitude, clear vision, daily action, absolute faith. Every day, return to that still place within you. Let the noise fall away. Let the truth rise. I am one with the substance of the universe. I am growing richer in every way. What if you slip? You might forget sometimes. You might drift into fear. You might fall back into competition or doubt. That's okay. The law never punishes, it simply waits. Just come back. Return to the vision. Return to the present. Return to the certain way. And keep walking. You now know the truth. This book has told you everything you need. There is no power outside of you greater than the power within you. No secret club. No gatekeeper. No permission required. Just you. Your vision. And the creative power that says, if you can see it, you can have it. The world is waiting for your increase. Don't just dream. Demonstrate. Don't just talk. Transform. Don't just read. Rise. Final affirmation. I walk the certain way.
I think truth, act now, and trust fully.
I rise and lift others with me.
I am rich in spirit, in purpose, in power.
And I give thanks for it all. The end and the beginning. That's it. Not just the end of the science of getting rich,
but the beginning of your new relationship with wealth, life, and power.
You're not who you were when you started. You now know how to work with the universe, not against it. How to create deliberately. How to receive without guilt.
How to serve through expansion.
So go live it.
Go get rich and let that richness bless the world.